Good morning and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, dear traders around the globe. We from Admiral Markets say welcome to our real-time daily trading idea webinar. So in this webinar, we have 5 days, 5 traders, so 5 different trading styles. And every day we want to discuss here the topics of today, show you some interesting trading setups and answering your questions. But first of all, here is our disclaimer. Be aware that Forex and Indices are leveraged products and can result in losses that exceed your deposit. So they maybe not be subtitled for everyone, and please be aware that all we are showing and presenting here today is just a personal opinion of our traders and not an advice for investing. Here you have a picture for me. My name is Tim Tam. I'm a sales guy from Germany. So here you have some other pictures from our traders. So today is Friday, so today with Dirk. So and in a couple of minutes more about Dirk and his trading topics of today. So here we have a quick overview of some of our offerings. For example, here our bestseller, the DAX 30, with a typical fixed spread of only 0.8 points during the main trading hours. These and other products you can trade in mini contracts by us. So on the right side, you see some of our awards from our customer services. If you have additional question or anything, feel free to contact us here. Here you can see our telephone number and as well our email. Also, you will find it on our website. So, and a quick reminder, this is a live trading webinar. So these webinars are recorded, and you will find it later on our YouTube channel. So that's it for me for the first minutes. So I say good morning to you, Dirk, and you have the screen and you can start.
Okay, good morning, Tim. Good morning, folks. Just let me check out if this signal, if the screen is transmitted already, and hopefully the sound is clear. Okay, let's start. Brand new stuff. Eurozone CPI data just came in. If you have a look at the euro-US dollar rate or some other euro currency pairs, you might be interested in that one. Eurozone CPI May data is the final data, is coming up with a plus of 1.9%. So that has been expected so far. That's why there's no big change. If you have a look at the current, of course, let's have a view on the market screen, of course, market watch here. If you have a look at the current euro-US dollar rate, you might be scratching your heads. What happened? Well, yesterday's ECB did not do anything. They didn't hike one of the 3 target rates. They didn't move anything. But the thing they did, they changed the forecast, and they changed the so-called program. So the public sector purchase program will be added until September with a volume of 30 billion euros, and from then on, from October on, they will be buying it 15 billion a month. This program will be ending in December, so that's something new. And the thing what made the markets, and especially the equity markets, very happy about that. You saw that yesterday's party at the DAX or European indices is the fact that the ECB rate will be held at this kind of level until summer 2019, and if you ask me, even longer. I guess we won't be surprised if we see no rate hike in 2019. The only thing what might be possible is something like the so-called bank rate, and this is right now is at minus 0.4%. So that might be hiked to 0.2% or whatever they do. What is going on today? Important. If you have a look at the DAX. Let's have a look at the DAX more close, and you see this real spike in the last 4-hour candles. Or let's check it on the daily chart and just widen that picture to have some really big candles here. You saw the yesterday rocket candle right here. And what is going on with the volumes? The volumes yesterday went up wide over 5 billion daily. So what is going on with that one? Have a look at today's data. You got the Eurex Quadruple day. If you don't know what this is, what this means, or what the hell is a quadruple day, quadruple witching, is a so-called Eurex data witching. and that refers to the third Friday of every March, June, September, and December. And as you know, we have the third Friday of June, and that's why market index futures, market index options, and then stock options and stock futures expire. These are four things. That's why it's called quadruple witching, and it's nothing like a triple witching. It's a quadruple witching. Okay, so you might be aware, if you have your watch prepared in front of you at 12 o'clock, the stocks family's products are going to be expiring, and at 13 CET, the DAX products like DAX options and DAX futures are going to be expiring. At 17:30, we are talking about single stock futures, for example. So what might be going on from the chart technical aspects? One thing for sure, today's market structure with the Eurex party at 13 CET might, let's say, confuse some chart technical issues. That's the reason why you simply should not pay attention too much on that chart technical stuff today. Let's see what the next possible on the hourly chart, the next possible let's say supports and resistances from the Fibonacci tools are. And just take this high from yesterday and this low from today, just to have a look at the current possible, at the current, let's say, what is going on with that one? Why is it not working right now? Just want to do that right this way. Okay, let's just check that out. If that is the high, that's the high here at the left side, and the right side the low. Okay, so you're going to be watching those 50s and 61.8 again. That's the level of 13,150 here, and of course to the downside the same stuff again with another Fibonacci on the hourly chart, where you might get some hint where the projections to the downside are. Just change the color here just to, oops, just deleted that by error. Hold on a second. Okay, and just for example do that and change the color so that you don't get confused just by the reason of the same colors. Okay, so that's a black one right here, and the projections are going to be to the downside. Downside levels are 138.2 and 161.8 levels, which means that a possible squeeze or a possible move to the downside could be going to retest the level of 13,050s, and possible to the downside as well. If you see, there are a couple of other lines. These are the so-called pivot points from the pivot structure. If you don't know what this is, you go to your navigator and check that out, and you will find some so-called Admiral pivots here. You might enter them here this way. If you don't do that, if you can't do that, just ask the help desk, and they might be helping you with that stuff as well. Okay, so it wouldn't be surprising we see a move to the upside until we reach the old level around 13,204. That's another high from the last week's histories, and it wouldn't be wondering if you see the same stuff to the downside as well, a retest of the 13,000, the 13K marker. So everything is possible. What should you be doing is that you just put something like those so-called trading boxes I always use, just to show you where there might be some interesting short setups, which is this 100 line here, 100% line, where you might have a next short opportunity. And for relong stuff or a so-called rebound trade, take this so-called shape, this rectangles here, to have a so-called rebound scenario from this side. Right now, right up here, it's kind of a lottery to have entry right exactly at this time right now. So you've got to be waiting until let's say 11:30 to 12:30. What is going on until those Eurex quadruple witching stuff goes on. Okay. Something else, something about the statistics possibly, and maybe this is some kind of interesting stuff for all this expiration stuff. This trade talks about expiration. What the hell is going on with us? Quadruple witching. It occurs four times a year. That's why I prepared that, just to give you some kind of background information. If you go to the statistically stuff about volatility, from statistics are speaking that volatility is not dramatically higher than the other options with expiration Friday. So you got 12 options expirations data times a year. It's always the Friday, the third Friday of a month. And of course, this one is the quadruple witching is more important because a lot of products expire. But from the volatility aspect, it's couple of things that the statistics tell you that volatility is not higher than any other regular options expiration Friday. So in the end, things are turning out to be that you got to be having patience. Patience means that you still wait until the market comes into your direction, into your sell zone or into your buy zone. Don't be fooled, don't be tricked out, and don't be scared. Just wait. You won't be losing anything when you wait. Patience is very important. And if the market is moving into your direction, into your scenario, then you got to be acting and place a trade to the short or to the long side, as I told you with those boxes. Okay, let's see what's going on with a couple of other markets today. I just reduced a lot of them and stick to the most important ones. As you see, the gold trade from the last weeks is something like really driving you nuts, because a couple of let's say days, not even days, a couple of just 2 weeks right now, the gold market, the gold spot rate is moving really sidelining. It's like almost like a dead patient. It's like something like flatlining around the 1300 marker. So this is really getting crazy. And if you look to the upside, still there's a target. Of course, you should see the gold chart. And of course to the daily, and this stuff here is still valid. To the upside, there's still the marker of the 1314 zone, and the next one, the 61.8 level here at 1335ers. Around that, there's still the upside goal, and the downside goal is still at 1282. So the last low from the chart history right here. And if you see what's going on with the next couple of days and maybe weeks to come, you maybe get some kind of hints what could be happening to gold. It's not absolutely impossible that gold is maybe getting some bump up to the road, because Trump looks, it looks like he's set to go really much ahead with those China related tariffs. So you never know if the White House really today gives you a hint that this tariffs against China are going to be launched. You got to be sure that China is being answering very quick, and so this trade war, conflict stuff goes up, and it possibly gives gold a boost. So just from the fundamentals and just from the tactics. There is another topic. Going into the weekend. Where is it? I just prepared the Bund stuff. If you look at the Eurobond future, you see that one is coming down a little bit from the last spike, from today's spike. And if you see that on a chart, you got this high from let's say, what is it? The date of 29th of May. Of course, this is this spike event from Italy. All the situation is still insecure, and still possible that we got some surprises from the south peripheries like Spain and Italy as well as Portugal and Greece. They still suffer from a huge debt, and this is important to maybe be interested in some Eurobond future positions. If you like that around today until into the weekend, or if you like to have a watch on Monday in the early morning, what is going on with those rates, if something has really happened, and something like Eurobond future and the German bonds are still a safe haven to go in when the international markets are having a roller coaster ride. Okay. What is going on with those markers? And we have a look at Fibonacci retracements as well. From the downside, you got this low here to this Italy upside. I name it just the Italy upside, just because of those Italy BTPs skyrocketing in those times. And you see this 61.8 level right here, where I already spoke about some nice buy zones. Still this buy zone is valid, and if you go up to this target zones, the target zone number 1 is already reached. This is this 38.2 Fibonacci retracement, and the next one would be a 23.6. So if you got to step in like a little bit of a consolidation to this last high here, 160.80s, you might be interested to get into a price around the 168 to 160, 160.90 level to have another load up to the upside with a target of the 23.6, which is the 23.6er is 162.30s. So that might be something interesting. On the very short-term view, look at the hourly chart. We will be deleting this stuff here. Let's see what this objects list is about to do, just to do it quick and delete that stuff, and just to have a view on the hourly chart here. And from this perspective, you got to be looking at the high, daily high to this daily low here. Let's check if this is correct. 159.37. 37 is correct. And the thing is that here you got to see some next short-term target rates with the 61.8 level. And surprise, surprise, this is almost the same level like I told you, that one on the daily one. So that's the 162.30s. Okay, so that might be a nice target zone for the bulls. And if you look to the downside, already told you that a possible rebound trade could be showing up around this 23.6 marker. It's not absolutely necessary that it goes directly on the line. Could be stopped a little bit above it, so that still is around the 160.55ers, or as I said before, on the daily perspective, 160.80. Okay. So a couple of trade scenarios, or let's say a couple of ideas what could be going on the next hours and the next days to come. Let's just check the market watch. If you look at Euro-US dollar, or if you look at Euro GBP, yesterday you might be looking at my Twitter feed. Being short in the Euro-US dollar was something like a nice party. Entering at 118. 10 and going down until 116.80 is not very, very bad. In the end, you just went out, and the market even went down to 115.60s. So I missed a lot of the party, but I don't care. Okay, you might check that out via Twitter FX Dirk with my shortening there. Okay, so what is the next one? The next one, which is probably kind of interesting. If you just look at the actual data here, I opened a trade at WTI this morning, just around the level of 66.69. So that's not very far away from that current price. You see the WTI is at 67.05 at the daily high and 66.60 at the daily low. So what's going on in the couple of days or next days, let's say? Of course, WTI is not the leading contract for being related to OPEC, but in the end, OPEC has a lot to do with the world, with the global oil supply, and still is very much important for both contracts, both leading oil contracts, WTI, and of course, number one brand for OPEC. So what is going on with OPEC? OPEC meeting is taking place at the 22nd of June, so that's not very, very far away. If you just have a look at your calendar, actually that's next Friday. So they will be meeting in Vienna to discuss what is going on with supplies and what is going on with the current demand. And of course, most important, what is going on with a little bit of hiking the production levels. So you might be checking that out. You find a lot of stuff at the OPEC's website as well, and a lot of research data. A lot of this stuff is free. You just might be checking that out via Google. OPEC data, OPEC forecast, EIA forecast .pdf or whatever you might be typing in Google. You find a lot of stuff like that. And this might give you a hint where the price of WTI and Brent is in the long run might be heading to, or what they are planning to. One thing is absolutely sure: if both countries, like the most important countries at the so-called ask side, so the demand, the highest demand still is from the US. After that is China. So if both countries are talking about that price leverage, the prices are too high, and that this might give you a hint as well that they try to convince other partners to hike production levels. And you all out there, you all know what this does mean for a contract. Normally, that means that the contract is going to the downside. But that's not the point yet. So we might be having something like a typical trade into this scenario, into the OPEC date, and that's why it's a try on the long side. It is stopped with a 66.20 stop loss, as you can see it here, right here in the terminal, and that one could be if it's not going to be stopped out. This one could be running into the next days until the OPEC meeting, even if it's not going to be stopped out. And I won't give this too much tries if this one is not going to happen the next hours. I won't be entering another one today. Okay, I spoke a lot about a couple of markets, Tim. Possibly there are some questions or some markets, special markets?
So, Dirk, no, at the moment, not really. So, any questions? So, you answered already, as I think. So, yeah, maybe you have some other interesting markets you can present us. Otherwise, we are very good here in time. Here's some of our audience ask about the WTI and your target.
Oh, okay, of course, target zone. I already waited that question. Target zone, if you go to the dailies and just delete, let's delete that stuff. Let's just hold on a second to do that. And we're going to that daily and a little bit to the downside, scale it out, and print this Fibonacci stuff in here. You might be having a look at the typical 61.8 level. You won't be surprised that I show you that one. Is that those levels are still a way to go to the upside? That would be a nice target. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Sometimes we heard a lot about so-called Brent and WTI moves at a Friday. If you go to the last weeks and month and years back, there have been a couple of those Fridays where WTI and Brent was some kind of spiking. So I won't be surprised if it happens someday. Even today it's not impossible. If it does not happen, well, this trade is set with a stop loss, and it's not very wide. So 66.20 stop loss is quite let's say payable if it just dips out. And as you can see, 61.8 level would be the target zone. So if you like to place a take profit, you could do that a little bit underneath that 61.8 level. So you could place a target, a take profit, so-called, at 69.20s or 25ers, something around that. If you're not getting greedy, or if you just have a possibly idea to do that a little bit more earlier, you can also do that at the next level, which is very close to the 38.2 level. Okay. And now it's just ringing the phone. Don't be disturbed. It's typically around this.
Okay, Dirk.
Typically around this hour.
Maybe it's an innovation for the party for tonight. I don't know. Okay, Dirk.
This is the so-called ringing up to. That's the end, my friend. It's possible Jens who tells us we are overdoing with the minutes.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. This is the same time for in the moment. So yeah, Dirk, we are very good in time here today on this Friday. So
I think that's it for the moment. So thanks for your presenting here as the topics of today. And thanks, dear listeners. We are back on Monday at the same time. So I wish you good trades and a nice weekend for the moment. And yeah, some last words from you, Dirk, if you like. And I say bye-bye.
Yeah, all I gotta say is hopefully the sun comes out again. I don't know where you guys are hanging out this evening, but right now it should be something like getting the feeling of summer again. We had a couple of good weeks. Let's hope that will turning out this turns out to be this weekend again. Relaxing weekend to all of you guys. Cheers, and all I gotta say is maybe you could be going long some beers or some good wine, and yes, relax a lot. And we'll be hearing us next week on Friday 11 CT as you like. Thank you. Bye bye.